welcome to another episode of Mindful Molly with me, Molly Kaluve. This is a space that challenges growth, self-awareness, and reflection in the most mindful way possible. Before I get into the episode, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the love and support that y'all have been showing me, liking, sharing, rating the podcast, as well as taking the time out just to give me feedback and tell me what y'all thought about the last episode. I will continue to drop episodes every Friday at 9 p.m. Kenya time, so look out for that. And without saying too much, let's get into today's affirmations. So on today's episode, I'll be talking a little bit about the importance of gratitude and what it means to me, as well as my journey with it. So it's only right that my affirmations for today are aligned with that. My affirmations for today are: I live my life with awareness and gratitude. I choose to be thankful no matter my circumstances, and I am grateful to be alive. So let's get right into the episode. A while back, which is just a couple of months ago, I was in an extremely dark place. Mentally, spiritually, physically, I just was not doing good. Mentally, I was constantly focused on all the things that were going wrong in my life. I was focused on what I don't have, the things I haven't achieved, just the lack of so many things within myself. And that became my prison. That negative mindset was my prison for very, very many years. And without even realizing it. And I used to question myself and be like, why am I stuck here? Why is nothing good happening? Why can't I, be happy? Why can't I, feel better? And it's because I was focused on exactly that. The negatives. Everything that was going wrong. And all that was doing was just bringing more negative energy into my life in the form of people, in the form of events, in the form of poor decision making. I was drawing those things to myself. I was making, what might have been a terrible situation even worse simply because of my mindset. But thankfully, and the people I'm grateful for till this day are the mentors I have in my life and the people I surround myself with, who started to push me to be more intentional about practicing gratitude. Not just passively saying, okay, yeah, I'm grateful for, this and that, but actually taking time out of my day to sit down and reflect about all the things I'm grateful for and why I'm grateful for them. And what happened with that is it started to shift my focus. It started to shift my focus from the things I was lacking and the things I was so stuck on and that I had made my negative prison. And I started to think about all the things I do have. I had lost people, I had, been through certain events. And I was so focused on that I forgot about the people I do have, the friends I have, the family I have. The people that are still here. And when I started to realize that more and focus on them and be like, you know what, I'm actually grateful, it changed the game. When I started to look at the people I've lost, and not as people I've lost, but people who were part of an experience, a time in my life that I had to go through, I started to be like, wow, I've actually learned so much from these people. I'm actually so, blessed to have experienced those type of relationships. When I started to look at it like that, it shifted the energy I had around me. It shifted the energy I was giving off. Because I was just becoming more thankful and being like, wow, I still have people. I've gone through, I've been friends with such amazing people, even though I've lost them, I had them. A lot of people don't get to say the same. But I do, And it made me realize that what you look for, you will find. I came from a place of constantly looking for the negatives and everything that was going wrong. And I started to move into a space where I started to look up, for everything that was actually good, the things that were right, the things that I have, the things that I can be grateful for. And I found them. I really and truly did find them. One of the things I like to say, and this is in terms of, the universe and higher powers, is that just like, a regular person, you always like to give to the person that is thankful for what you're giving them. It's just the way, like, personally, I love working with kids, and you give kids simple things. Like, some of them will ask for, like, oh, can I touch your bracelet? Or can I touch your hair? Can I have a piece of candy? And when you give it to them, it's like their world just explodes, and they're like, oh, thank you, and the joy in their face and everything. And you just feel like, continuously spoiling them and giving them all these things because of how grateful they are for what you've just given them, what they have now. They're just so content and happy with that. They appreciate the simple things in life, and that's why everybody loves spoiling kids. I'm sorry, but if you don't love, playing with your little cousins or, spoiling them and stuff, I don't know. I don't know about y'all, but I love it. And when I start to think about it that way, I'm like, the universe, whatever higher power you believe in probably thinks the same, The things you appreciate, the things you're grateful for in the present, in the moment, are the things you start to attract into your life. And that was the major thing. I shifted my focus from the bad, what's not going right, and I moved it to the good. And I started to realize, the right kind of people stepping into my life. Relationships that I had craved for, people I had craved and longed for, to have in my life. I started to draw them simply by being thankful for those that were already there. And when you start to see and actually appreciate the people that are there, the things that you have now, the things, that you've been blessed with, you're also opening your eyes to their value. You're finally seeing the value in yourself and others, in the, what you've achieved. Because gratitude, it puts you in a position where you have to sit down. And when I say gratitude, I'm talking about intentional, gratitude. It puts you in a position where you have to sit down and be like, okay, I'm grateful for this. But it doesn't stop there. You also think about why you're grateful for that kind of thing. Why you're grateful for life. Why you're grateful for, a certain person. Why you're grateful for breath. Why are you grateful for even, the mistakes you've made, the failures you've had? And when you start digging deep and realizing why you're grateful for it, you start to see the value in them. You start to think, okay, I'm grateful for, my best friend because my best friend has poured so much into me. And then you realize the value of that relationship and what it means to you. So you stop longing for some future relationship, some future friendship, and you're like, wow, I have this. And I like to say, how you treat something valuable? You treat it with care and respect. You take care of it. So when you start seeing people, when you start seeing yourself, when you start seeing the things that are in your life and being grateful for them, you start to treat them with more care and respect, and you give them the right environment to grow. You give them the right environment for, good things to happen. It's like longing for, a tree to grow in your garden, but you're not taking care of the soil that's already there. How do you expect it to grow? You need to be grateful for your current environment and the things you have now and the, tools you've been given now. And prepare them so that when more blessings come, they can grow. They can blossom, they can prosper in that environment. Because a lot of the time, we're already receiving such great and amazing things and opportunities in our life, but because we're not, grateful for them, because we're not seeing them and we're not seeing their value, they just die off. They just die off, or they just, remain there like a seed that wasn't, that fell off to the side on the sidewalk. And it doesn't actually start to grow and prosper because you're so focused on, the things you don't have, that you're not, appreciative, or you don't even see the value of the things you do have. And it took me a long time to realize that, and it's still something I realize on a daily basis. And, especially this week, I was really thinking about how if I hadn't gone through the things I had gone through, if I didn't have the people around me that I have around me, this podcast would not be a reality. Who I am today would not be who I am today if it wasn't for the people, if it wasn't for the things that happen. And because I realize that and I acknowledge that, I see the value in each and every person and the role they've played in my life. I see the value of each and every event and the role it's played in turning me into the person I am. I stopped viewing things as things that were happening to me and started viewing them as things that were happening for me. And, with that ability to see value and that realization of people's value, you also start to focus on what you have in the present moment. You start to open your eyes to everything around you, because when you sit down and you say, okay, what am I grateful for? You start thinking about the things you have. And the importance of that is, look, you only have what you have now. You're not guaranteed the future. You can't change the past. So why do we spend so much time on them? Why do you spend so much time committing and bonding our happiness, our joy, our love to future, wishes and past mistakes? Why don't we realize that the only thing we have control of and the only thing we have that we own, that we're in control of, is the now, is the present? You don't know if, some amazing person will come into your life. So start looking at the amazing people that are already in your life. You don't know, or you're not sure about who you'll become tomorrow if you can't focus on who you are and appreciate who you are today. Because you'll never even realize the changes you've made within yourself if you can't even notice the changes you've made this far. And it's something that I always have to repeat to myself over and over again. What I have now is what I once longed for. What I have now, at one point, maybe I was a kid, maybe it was just a year ago. I wished for this moment. I wished to be alive to see this year, to see this day. I wished to have graduated, and I've done it. But at one point, I was so focused on the things I'm yet to do and haven't done that I couldn't appreciate what I have now. And the question I was asked that made me say, oh my days, was, if you can appreciate what you've achieved now and achieved this far, what makes you think you'll be happy and appreciative of what you have in the future? What makes you think that you'll cherish the things you achieve and those goals you have in the future if you can't even appreciate the small things you have now? Not even the small things, the big things. Because if you draw into that nature of constantly, wanting more and searching for more and striving for more and linking that to your happiness, you'll never actually be happy. You'll never be happy because there will always be more. There's literally always more out there in the world. There's more to see, there's more to achieve, there's just so much more. And if you keep linking it to the more, you'll constantly be chasing that more and even when you reach that more, even when you achieve the things that you're like, okay, tomorrow I want to do this and the day after I want to do this, even when you get them, you won't be satisfied, you won't be happy. And let me not say satisfied, because you may never be completely satisfied, but you won't be happy because, you're still so focused on the future things, those future wishes. So for me, the importance of gratitude is the ability to acknowledge what I have now. It's the ability to realize how far I've come as a person. It's the ability to, notice and embrace the importance of the present and just be grateful for it. And that's why I'm just grateful for the now. I'm grateful for speaking right now. I'm grateful for the person I've grown and become this far. And just knowing that and embracing that practice has just made me happy, and not happy from external things or wishes of the future. It's made me happy from within. It's an internal thing. So just practice being more grateful. Practice realizing all the blessings that are already in your life and the great things that are already there. And just embrace them, love them, cherish them, see the value in them. Because I'm telling you, if I compare how I felt a couple of months ago and how I feel now, it feels like a whole new person because I'm happy. I'm content. And not content in a sense where I don't want to achieve more. I do. But I'm happy with who I am in this present moment. And I know because of that, because of the value I place in myself in this present moment, that I'll achieve and gain so much more. So with that being said, be kind, be grateful, be compassionate, be loving, be mindful, and be conscious. And take care, y'all.